and current leadership in the House. They're challenging the things that we've worked very hard to put in place, like the Hyde Amendment put in place by Henry Hyde, work done by Chris Smith, and even some amendments that are referred to as Tiahrt amendments, some that I have put in place. Just last summer, they removed the restrictions that we had on using taxpayer dollars to fund abortions in Washington, D.C. And I stood on the floor of the House and tried to prevent it from happening, but we simply don't have the votes right now. But if we don't have the votes, we have to at least stand and fight and make sure that the nation knows that we're changing policy. That for the first time in a very long time, we're using our taxpayer dollars to fund abortions. And it's happening in Washington, D.C. today. But you know, things change. Every election has the opportunity for us to change the course of this country. This election, starting on August 3rd and in November 2nd, we can change this direction of the country. We can get moving back on the path of protecting human life, of protecting the promise that each individual has to make a better life. And you are part of that effort. You are part of making this a better country and a better world. Each and every one of you has a sphere of influence. You have people that are your friends, the people you go to church with, the people you work with, your family. You can be a great influence on each and every one of them. And I would like to encourage you to be effective and open and talking with them about what's important in our lives. It was a great pleasure to be here with my wife, Vicki. I don't know if you haven't got a chance to have her introduced yet, but Vicki has been a great spiritual guide, friend, and a wonderful mother, and a good wife, a very good wife. So it's always a pleasure to be able to be with her when we travel a lot. We don't always get to be in the same room at the same time. But thank you all for what you do. God bless you. Let's move forward and make this a better country and protect human life.
Todd Tiahrt, the next U.S. Senator from the state of Kansas. All right, next we're going to have the candidates for office stand up, and Mike Thomas and Kathy McDonald, who are also on the Kansans for Life PAC, are going to say their names, and please stand up and remain standing. Kathy's going to do the girls, and Mike's going to do the boys. Okay, oh, you've changed, never mind, they've changed that. But I want to present one candidate first. There is only one state Senate race in Kansas this summer. The senators only get, and this is the state senators, are only elected every 4 years. But this summer there's one state Senate election, and it's here in this area. Mission Hills, Mission, Merriam, Prairie Village, Senate District 7, because David Wysong, who had that position, quit. The precinct people elected a new person, Terry Huntington, who was a state rep. And so she's running, and then there's a wonderful, she's not a pro-life vote at all. We lost a very important late-term abortion vote this year. Actually, we won it in the Senate and the House. The governor vetoed it. We overrode it in the House. We were one vote short in the Senate of overriding that veto. Ms. Huntington voted not to override the governor's veto. So, a wonderful candidate has come forward, David Harvey. David, are you here? I want him to stand up separately. And I want everybody in the room to help this candidate, because there's only 40 state senators. We can't touch them for another 2 years, except for with this race right here, David Harvey. Now I'll get out of the way and see what they've cooked up here for the rest of the candidates, but before I do, they don't know this. Gene Vickery, state legislator from Miami County, I believe, has also joined us today.
Thank you. As Mary Kay said, Mike and I are on the Kansans for Life Political Action Committee, and we, along with probably another dozen people, interviewed and put great consideration into the endorsements. We take it very seriously, And we have two criteria for the most part. The first one, of course, is the pro-life credentials of the candidate.